So the perks about having a lap harp are numerous, and one of the top ones is being able to just take it wherever. So I like to play it sitting on the floor, outside in the grass, sitting in all sorts of different chairs on my couch. The nice thing about the tiny harps is they generally don't need anything extra. They're not as heavy as, say, a harpsicle, and so they don't need anything to hold them up. So when I'm setting up, what I'm basically looking for is where the middle of the string is, because as I'm playing, I want to be able to touch all along the middle of the string. So I want to make sure the middle of the strings is lower than my shoulder, because I don't want to have to worry about raising my hands up higher than my shoulders. On concert harps, pedal harps, they probably do need to be able to reach it, and that's why they raise their elbows up so high so they can comfortably reach. We don't need to do that. So we can just bring the whole harp lower and further down. I can play it on comfortably while it's sitting on the floor, and my hands can reach easily. If I am sitting on my couch, I will cross my ankles and tuck it in so it sits on one of my calves, and that brings it into a really nice low position where it's always below my shoulder, and then I can just play without having to keep my elbows really raised. I can keep it at a more relaxed position. I don't have to worry about being really strict with technique because it doesn't require it for a harp of this size, as long as it's not too high. If I had it really high up and I tried to play in the middle of the strings, then obviously I could not reach those center of the strings without compensating in another way. So by raising my elbows, I can bring my hands and my wrist to a nice neutral level, but it also brings it further back, which means I have to compensate in other ways. And generally it's just going to be less comfortable than if I played it at a lower, more neutral place. Another thing that makes a difference is where you're sitting. Now, right now, I've got short legs, and this is a relatively short couch. So I have my knees at a 90-degree angle, and my lap is level. I'm going to show you an example where if I sit in a smaller chair and my knees are higher than my hips, that's going to make my back and my hips get tired faster, but I can play like this for a very short amount of time. And I do the same thing where I just cross my ankles and tuck my legs in. But generally you want a seat that has your hips level with your knees. So you have a flat lap, or with your hips slightly higher than your knees, so your knees help support you. Let's see if I can show you an example of that. Oh, I also got this for outside. So if I put this on the tallest setting, then my lap goes down, and I would still cross my ankles, and I would have the harp slightly higher up, but still between my knees. I would not put it on top of my lap, the tops of my legs, because it brings this further higher up than I want the middle of the strings to be. So I would cross my ankles. Yeah. Now for bigger harps, this has got 16 strings. For 22 or 26 strings, you want something that makes it feel stable, like it isn't going to fall away from you. A lot of people will use either really extra long legs, a specialty made stand, whether it's metal or wood, a lap harp lap bar, which is basically a piece of wood that sits across your lap, attaches in a sound hole, and then holds it for you. So that bar would put the weight of the lap here instead of you feeling like it's going to fall forward or having the weight of a strap pulling at your back. I don't mind having the strap. So I use my strap with the Harpsicle and I cross my legs, but because this is a bigger harp, I sit it in front of my legs. I actually can't do it that high. I cross my ankles and I put it on the outside of my lap because it's slightly longer. If I put it on the inside of my lap, and this is one of the things my teachers taught me, was when I have it on the inside of my lap, it raises the center of the strings higher than my shoulder. So by having it further away, it pulls more with the strap, but it brings the strings in a nice neutral area where I can reach all of the strings. So for me, I love this strap. I don't feel like it's going to fall away because I don't even have to touch it. It's almost like there's a 3-point support. So it's supported by my legs, supported by this side of my back, and it's supported by my right shoulder. So it's not pulling in one place. So I like my strap personally. I can completely take off the strap and still hold it in almost the same position, but I do need to use the inside of my calf, my leg. So if I play, oh, that's minor. And I can still play it and it's not going to wobble. But if you were a very new beginner, like when I first got this harp, I was terrified it was going to flop over. So something like a stand or a strap or a lap bar, I'd recommend it. It's going to take some of that weight in a different area so it doesn't feel like it's going to pull you and make you tired. Yeah, so the main two things is sitting comfortably and having the string center lower than your shoulders. Yeah, so those are my main two tips. If you want specific help, take a picture or a video of you playing your harp